The middle income status. Uganda continues to push to attain the middle income status, something that remains elusive despite the efforts put in socio-economic development of the country. As we celebrate 58 years of independence, our reporter Pedson Mumbere explores why Uganda has failed to attain middle income status and what is ought to be the focus moving forward.
Dr. Fred Muhomoza, an economist from Makerere University, says that Uganda's journey to middle income status has been hindered by many economic challenges, including debts, to the extent that about 20% of the collected revenue in Uganda goes to debt servicing.
But the problem we have is the short-term debt, which is domestic borrowing. Government bonds, both treasury bills and fiscal bonds. Now, when you look at these, a lot of them are 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, a little bit of 10 and 15 years. But they are highly priced, ranging from 10% to 15%. So that structure is very, very cumbersome because it drains away your monies much faster and does not even give you room to convert your current revenue earnings into other investments. So we are talking about 12, 14, 15 billion dollars, but which, as I've said, the structure is so heavily skewed to the short term, which is the domestic debt, and to higher interest rates, what we call non-concessional debt. That is actually, for me, the bigger problem, because it means up to 20% and more of our revenues is going into debt service. Now that characterizes a country that is debt stressed and no longer debt sustainable.
Dr. Fred Muhomoza says that a debt-stressed country like Uganda will always find it hard to attain middle income status. The plan for achieving a low middle income status involved a target per capita income of US dollars 1,039 by 2020. The plan strategized to achieve this by strengthening Uganda's competitiveness for sustainable wealth creation and employment and inclusive growth.
You would say, well, to close to about $15 billion. For an economy that is about 30 billion, depending on the exchange rate, for the year or for the day, that is putting us close to 50% debt to GDP. So in stock, you would say we are somewhere close to $15 billion. But that is not usually the problem, because the trouble with debt is not its size, it is its structure. Where its structure, we are meaning how long, what is the duration of this debt? Is it short term in terms of 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Or is it long term that it is 40 years or 15 or 30 years? But also, what is it costing you? What is the interest rate on the debt? Now, when you look at Uganda's debt, the bulk of it is from what we call multilateral organizations, the World Bank, African Development Bank. A little bit of it more is from China, but that is for shorter term, about 15, 20 years. It's the World Bank and African Development Bank that have been giving us debts of up to 40 years. And very low rates that are below 1%. Meaning that's manageable debt. Even if it is bulky, you have many years to pay it, and you're paying very little interest on it.
In the plan, key indicators were increased exports, reduced poverty, increased employment levels, and improved social indicators in health and education sector. All expected to be achieved by prioritizing the three critical growth opportunities of agriculture, tourism, minerals, and oil and gas. According to Dr. Fred Muhomoza, this target was too high for Uganda to reach on.
As citizens, I think we need to be much more productive. We need to engage more in production, if I must say. If you realize now, as a business consultant, I will tell you, I sit with very many people here who come and want to start businesses. But 90% of the people who come to start businesses are not thinking of coming to start to produce. Someone is saying, I want to go to China and bring stuff. I want to start selling. I want to go to Turkey and bring clothes and shoes. I want to go to Japan and bring electronics and what. You get, no one is saying, I want to start up a shoe company here. I want to start up a clothing line here. I want to start up. No one is saying that. You get. So that becomes a response, because at the end of the day, We, the citizens, we are the ones who need to produce.
Herbert Riza, a business consultant, says that Ugandans should prioritize increasing production, calling upon government to enhance private sector competitiveness, consolidate and increase infrastructure stock, adding that quantitative and qualitative measures of productivity may be one of the challenges. James Sempija from Uganda Debt Network says the level and rate of development of any country depends on the quality of her labor force and the state of education system. He observes that the quality of education in Uganda must be enhanced through hands-on for it to reach a middle-income status.
So it depends on what we call human capital development, which is a combination of different factors. For example, you have, first of all, the health of the population, the education levels, and what is the quality of the education you're passing on to the population. Because if you look at a country like Japan, they realize that they could make a lot of money out of technology, small-scale industries. So they prepare their population over time. It was a long-term strategy to be able to equip them with hands-on skills to be able to carry on to operate small-scale industries where they make, like you see, circuits, bulbs, something like that. So that is generating wealth because that is a skill that is very practical, you can use in real life. And if you look at Uganda, there's a very interesting report I was reading. It is from the World Bank, 2020 Human Capital Development Index. It was showing that for a healthy Ugandan who has gone through school and let's say completed the highest level, which is about university, you could say university, that individual could only be productive at a rate of 38%.
They were just looking at only Uganda?
Yes, that is the Human Capital Index for Uganda. It is 38%. That means the productivity rate of a Ugandan who has gone through school is 38%.
I think it is low.
It is very low. And this goes back to how best we prepare our children, the students, and which skills are they having that are unique to help them transition in life and to add value to the nation. Because we've had the challenge whereby there's a very big gap of scientists, and scientists are at the heart of innovation. They have to bring about new technology, new ideas to push the country forward.
According to the World Bank, middle-income countries are defined as economies with a gross national income per capita between $1,026 and $12,475. The government of Uganda is determined to see attainment of middle-income status, though 2020's target seemed to be beyond reach. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.